Okay, so welcome everybody. I think everyone on here so far is fine with A to Z commenting. Speak now or forever hold your peace if you need some tips or if you have some questions on A to Z commenting, but we'll just dive right into that while we're discussing some other things. So I kind of just wanted to start with hearing how everybody's doing with coming off of convention, having a few days to reflect. I just kind of wanted to hear what your big takeaways were, or what's the thing that's like you're still remembering in your mind, and maybe you're not even sure how to apply that yet, but it was like a aha moment or like a takeaway that's kind of like what's it called? Earwormed, wormholed into your brain. I don't know. I don't know what the right term is, but feel free to come off
That
mute and
sounds
share.
disturbing.
I know, sorry. Earworm? What? I don't know what it
I
is.
don't want any of that. No parasites, please.
No worms.
You know
So
what
I'll,
word I love
oh,
though
sorry.
is, and it's from Helen Irwin, but she talks about things niggling inside. It's just like one of those little things that like niggles.
A niggle?
Yeah,
Never heard of that word.
niggling.
Niggle. So who's got a niggle they want to share?
I can share something. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Jill.
Hi. So I can't remember her name, but the gal that had the green shoes on, what was her name? So she's the one that spoke
Tracy Scares.
about
Yes.
that how she wasn't up in the IPD section, and so what kind of hit me with her was everybody feels like they should have been maybe a little in maybe not everybody, but many people felt like they should maybe have been in a different place. But I love how vulnerable she was to be like, yeah, this is hard. So I don't know. That was just touching to me that she would be so vulnerable and share that, and it just kind of shows you the ebbs and flows of the business and how you think it's going to be one way, and then it might not be that way, but it's okay that it's not that way. It's just, it is what it is, and it's just going forward. That's it.
I love that. Yeah, it was actually really a breath of fresh air for her to say that up on stage in front of everyone. And she has a huge business. I mean, I don't know obviously the details of it, but um, she admitted it, and it was so good for me personally to hear. And just like if any of you guys were on the morning mojo training that was yesterday, she said something about 80/20, and I've like, oh, maybe I should apply this to the rest of my life, because it means I'm like, do I have to be 100% all the time? Do I have to hit every benchmark? Do I have to be perfect and always trying my best at everything all the time? I kind of liked it because it meant, and I'm not saying it gives you an excuse to fall back, but it takes that pressure off of you feeling failure, because you're like, 80% of the time I am awesome. So I loved that too. Um, yes, we're A to Zing. Everyone should be A to Zing while we're chatting. Thank you. Um, and if anyone has questions about A to Z, just put it in the chat. Uh, Rosemary.
Also, oh,
I was just going to say, well, first of all, it was so great to meet so many of you. And Jill, I just really enjoyed our conversations. And I want to exactly what you were saying. That was a huge moment for me to hear one of our really top, as far as growing a big business, that everybody has setbacks. And I admit I was a little nervous going into convention, not being as in touch with my business. And it gave me a place to just rest in those thoughts, and that everything would be okay. But I would say, just beyond just meeting everybody and realizing that I'm a part of something that's so big and that I admire so much, the business, pure business, transactional takeaway that I had was, you can't keep doing C plus actions if you have A plus goals. That really hit me in my gut, and has renewed a fire in me to step up my, what I'm doing with my business.
I love that, Rosemary. When you speak, it makes me get excited. Really. Thank you for sharing that. Who else wants to share something?
I'll share. Um,
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, my dogs are going insane behind me, so I had to separate them. Hopefully they don't keep barking. So for me, I really feel like I kind of went into convention not in a great place in my business, in my own personal health. I've just been struggling for about the last year, honestly. And I feel like every session was like them speaking to me directly. Like everything about it was like, get your act together. You have this amazing gift. Why aren't you sharing it? Like, get over your own fear, get over your own mess and do it. And I think it finally just kind of ignited that fire back in me to like, I don't know, kind of refocus on it. And the morning mojo yesterday was really awesome. I think my mornings are a big start. Like I really need to adjust my mornings to focus on the rest of the day. So it's all been really good. I'm excited and feel like I'm starting fresh, and yeah, I'm still trying to catch up on sleep, but other than that,
Yes, I know we all are trying to catch up on, well, and I know you guys had a crazy delayed flight on the way home too.
it was awful. Yeah.
Oh man.
Good to be home though. So
Yeah, I'm so glad that you came and joined us. And another thing I will say, just to tack on to that, is I'm doing some other professional development in my life, and what you said also resonated with me. I'm like, what is the thing that gets me excited? I tend to be like pretty even keeled. Complacency is my friend. I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. This should be fine. But with convention, it reignited that. But I still was like, well, what's going to be the thing that continues to make me, because this high from convention will only last so long. I hate to break it to everyone, but it's going to be 30 to 90 days of you feeling this way. And so, what is the thing that's going to be for you that is going to keep the momentum going? Like, who do you need to have, to check in with? What things in your life can make you excited about keeping on going? And one thing that I learned for me a couple weeks ago was um, kind of just what you said, Rachel, which was you have to almost get furious at yourself, pissed. And I'm not saying that's a negative word, that's like a negative thing, but get so pissed that you are not um, living this life to its fullest, using this program to its fullest in your personal health. Like, what the heck am I doing? I have this awesome tool and I am not at my best self yet. I've been doing this for 5 years, right? Like, it is time to level up. I have this amazing thing in my hands and I've just squandered it and I'm pissed about it. And same with the business. Like, why aren't all of my best friends doing this program with me? Why aren't they all coaches? Why aren't they? I love it so much. They know I'm passionate about it, but I don't speak to them openly about it the way that I would like a brand new client. And so that's been holding me back too. So that's one thing that I um, was just reinforced with all of the amazing speakers and everything this week. So
yeah, well, and for me, like I kind of same thing. Like I have all these goals and I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to get my health back on track, and I'm turning 40 in January, and if I don't start, I'm going to turn 40 and not be anywhere near my goals that I wanted to set for myself. So it's just time to do it. And I think that's what ignited for me at convention was just start. You have to start. And I don't know, I'm excited. I'm here and I'm going to keep showing up. So
yay, I'm so glad. Yeah, Danielle is saying in the chat, stop dicking around, which is something that was really funny in the in the there was an IND and above training before convention started. And it was Becca Tinter, and she was like, "Excuse my French, but stop dicking around." And it was really funny. Okay, Debbie.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, I am feeling the exact same way. Like I could have just said exactly what you just said. The past year has just been like wah wah, and convention just really, really lit a fire under me. I am turning 50 in December. And I had said at the beginning of the year that I was like, okay, I want to walk a half marathon. Okay, it's August basically. So I have put together a plan and I haven't signed up yet, but that's coming and it's going to be October 8th. So I am doing it. So taking, myself, putting myself first and actually doing things that I have said I wanted to do and doing them, like just do it, right? And the thing that keeps resonating with me is get out of your own yuck. And I feel like that's what this past year has been, is just God, climb out of that yuck. You just got to climb and you just got to do the things. And that was the other thing that I wrote down first, plug in and do the work. And even when you feel like crap, I mean, came back, feel like crap. And I'm like, nope, still got to get up and do the power hour. It doesn't matter. Do the things, do the things, do the things. So it was so many things.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, the own your yuck was another big piece of that too. And I will say, like, another thing to keep this momentum going is to attend all the things, right? Now, I know some of you work jobs and you can't come to every power hour and you can't come to, you should be able, everyone on here should be able to rearrange their schedule to make Tuesday night a thing, right? Tuesday night is something that I would say is a non-negotiable for being a coach. It should be the thing that you tell your brand new coaches when they're first getting started, that Tuesday night, the client training and the coach training and the client training, right? Because we're learning how to take care of our clients when we listen to the client piece. Like, don't show up 30 minutes late just for the coach piece, right? So Tuesday night, non-negotiable. And then I would also say power hours. There are so many options. We've got morning, midday, evening. I believe they're going to be adding more. We've got this Dandrea one. Maybe we find a way. I know there's other ones going on. We can find a way to plug you in. If you want it, we can help you find it. And then I want everybody to get super excited for this accelerator boot camp that's coming up starting next Saturday. So I believe it's 8 a.m. MST, so whatever your time zone is. So it'll be kind of early, 7 a.m. for East or West Coasters, and then a little later for East Coast. But it's going to help us keep the momentum going and maximize this accelerator bonus we have going through the end of August too. So yeah, show up for all that stuff. And don't you guys feel like when you hop on a power hour, it is, you don't even want to get on. You don't like, it's like, do I even have to turn my camera on? Sometimes you feel like that. But then when you do it, the community just brings joy, and it makes me excited to keep going with the rest of my day, honestly. I'm not going to be missing those 7 a.m. power hours. And if anybody wants to do like a 90-day commitment with me, you let me know. I'm all about it.
We need more at like 9:30.
I know, 9:30, but
7 a.m. is so early. 9:30.
Dude, it's 6 in Pacific, so
I know.
My alarm's set for 5:48.
Decide what you want, and if it means being uncomfortable, you make your own decision, but sometimes I think if you really want it, you'll make it happen.
Also, on the time thing, I had to get myself into fat burn so that I could wake up early to do this. There's magic in those early mornings. But like super, oh my goodness, and moment of silence to anyone in Hawaii that you'll see showing up for boot camp. Christy Lopez teaching for boot camp, because it's between 3. So it's 3 a.m. for the 7 a.m. Our boot camps, that's 4 a.m. you guys. And Dan Valentine did the same thing when he, lived in Maui. I remember it would be dark in his house. He was just on fire, half sleepy eyes, talking on boot camps.
Dan
So
Valentine. I always worry about those veins in his neck sometimes. Oh my gosh. And also, like, if this is your job, and it's not everyone's full-time job, I understand that at this moment, but it's your desire for it to be a full-time job, you would wake up at 6 a.m. to go to your job, right? Like you would have to, or you get fired. I mean, if that's what time your job stopped. So sometimes I think we need to think of it as like, this is inconvenient, and I do have this flexible life, but I need to show up for myself as my own boss and CEO of my company, you know? So things to think about. Okay. Um, Sarah.
Yeah, so a couple things. One of the things, I think it was Debbie Moody who said, look, we're all going to be in the pit sometimes, but do not decorate in there, And I was like, that is so good. It's important to feel our feelings and to feel kind of process what's going on in our lives. But, the faster we can get at being flexible and moving through it, like the faster we'll get to our goals. So I think that's really important, is to be like, am I in the pit? Do I want to be in the pit? No. Okay, get on out. Another thing is, I kind of want to marry two concepts. The 80/20 concept, but also the, C plus actions for, but you want A plus results, or whatever the exact thing was. I think we have to take both of those and look at, what in my life is, is 80% totally enough on for me. You know, what is good enough? Like, I would love a tidy house all the time. At the moment, I don't have, it's not in my budget to pay somebody. So I am accepting an 80% house because I'm not going to spend my time. I could clean all day long. I could spend all my time doing that. So I accept that as 80%. But there are other things in my life, like, my business and my relationships, where if I look at it, like, a B minus is not good enough for me. I want to put in 90, 95% on, those specific things. So I think I run into trouble sometimes when I give myself 80% for everything. I'm like, that's when I get into kind of complacency and like, meh, it's good enough. But really, like, I'm not a B minus student. I am so much better than that. And so it's about being strategic in what areas we're going to put the extra energy to, be at the 90, 95%.
Love that. No, really, that's a good reminder for all of us, for sure, that there are going to be things in your life that you don't do B work for. And a lot of times we talk about the messy season. You'll hear that a lot in the trainings. Maybe it literally means your house is a mess, Like maybe it literally means that your kids are eating frozen chicken nuggets for a couple weeks, or maybe it means, and we're health coaches, right? We could probably think of something better than that, but like think about, yeah, what does that mean for you? Okay, Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I have been doing like some outside coach work who has helped me through resistance. And I can see Miss Ronnie there smiling, but I've also been doing Helen's class, and like the last class, I had to share just a little bit because we were talking about goals, and goals have always been like, I've always had this goal since I started coaching, that I wanted to have a bigger business. But it was almost like, if you see, I don't know if this is going to make any sense to you at all, but like if you see like a Coke can and you want that Coke and you go over there and it's an empty can, that's how I felt about my goals, because like I wanted it, but there was just nothing, there was nothing in it. And she was talking about when you go into convention, there's a term for it. You go to convention and you see all these things, and all of a sudden you have all these lofty goals, but they are somebody else's goals. She said that you need to align your goals with your core values, your purpose, your visions. And she did this amazing thing with creating a goal. And I just wanted to share it with you because I have never been able to put it on paper before. And yesterday it was amazing. So and she said that you want to write a goal from 6 months to a year, no longer. She said sometimes people do 3 months. But here's my goal. By June 1st, 2023, I have reached a global business with at least 2 FIBCs because I'm proficient in leading people through resistance in their life by asking the right questions that leads them to their authentic self. My energy attracts the heart note of people who want to move forward in life. My daily commitment to my business brings me people where I can live out my purpose to help make an impact in people's lives. So like, I finally have this goal that I can align with. So a lot of you, you go into convention and it's exciting. So my thought for all of you is look at what really aligns to your heart and your soul, and that you can put on paper and make it a vision for yourself, and make it a 6-month or a month goal, and really get clear on what she talks about. She had a circle and it like went 1 through 4. The first one is my desired business reality. And it's 12 months from now. What is true in your business that isn't true today? And she said, what are you seeing, hearing, feeling to know that this is true? The second one is my purpose and vision. How does this align with your purpose? How does this align with the purpose of my business? How does this contribute to the vision I have for my business? And then you go to the third one. What knowledge have you acquired and what skills have you developed for your desired business reality to be true? That one was important for me because we all need to have these skills in order to rise in our business. And what are you seeing, hearing, and feeling to know that you have the proficiency with this knowledge and these skills? And then the fourth are my values and boundaries. And I had to look up, I'm like, okay, what are my values? And I was, my values, I want my business to align with my values. And it was honesty, commitment, respect, caring, integrity, gratitude, purposefulness, compassion for myself and others. And so when I align my goal to my values and I have boundaries that keep me within my values, and that goal is all aligned, you feel good, you're excited about this goal. And so she asked, how does this growth align with your core values? How are my boundaries impacted by this growth? And boundaries, by the way, she talked about, I always thought about boundaries as being something that, like when you have boundaries against for a person that's not treating you very well, she wasn't referring to those. She talks about like boundaries being like those, like when you're at a movie theater and you have those poles that have the ropes. So those are your boundaries. So boundaries being how we come to power hours. Like, I have a boundary of where I want to work. My boundaries are, if any coach comes up to me, I know we're not supposed to cross coach, but if they need any type of help through a resistance, man, I am there. I love working with people. And so those are your boundaries. Those are positive boundaries that keep you on your track to your goal. So there's my 2 cents for today.
You Helen Irwined us.
Yes.
Yes. I want to just say something about Michelle, because Michelle, when you first started this business, I have seen, and I'm not even directly in your business, that's Dan, you have other mentorship, but I have seen you transform from this place of, you were in a rough spot with your job, with your life, with things, and like hearing you talk today, is like a total 180 from where you were when I first met you.
Thank you.
And I talk about life, not just weight loss, talk about life transformation. Michelle is the person. I love
Uh, and one more thing, I'm going to be totally authentic here because I always tell people just to share of yourself. And I know we don't want to talk like ranks or anything, but I was totally rank driven when I first started this. And it hurt me because I'm very competitive that I didn't reach ranks. And when I focused on that, it was not in a good place. And so I am in such a better place because I'm focusing on helping others and then making an impact. It doesn't matter about rank to me. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to work my butt off this last couple of days, but I'm probably going to lose my FIBC this month because I had 5 coaches that just like all their stuff, their clients like moved their boxes. And normally that would have just gotten me in my heart because I would have made it about me. But you guys, this isn't about ranks. Focus on how you can develop those skills and how you can and make the largest impact in people's lives, and your business will soar.
It's about the people too, and building them up when they're ready, when they want it, right? Thank you, Michelle. Corey.
I'm coming to you with my daughter not having COVID, so we're trying to keep her.
Oh yeah, look, I'm when I leave this office, I've got this on.
But I just wanted to hop on for just a second, and I think it was Kristen Dowd who was talking about embracing the yuck and imposter syndrome, and that hit me so hard at convention because you've heard all of our leaders, you guys, all of Gina, everybody from everywhere say there's no difference between you and me. I've just been doing this longer. But it takes really truly believing in yourself that you can do this. And so often I still find myself working so hard and being like, well, maybe it's just not for me. Maybe we're not going to get there. And so to hear somebody be so successful, also have those doubts and have those things and put a name to it, it was like, oh, okay, that's what that is. And it's not going to rule my life anymore. So just being at convention and remembering that we all start from the same place. We all start with the same coaching kit, and putting in the work will get us there eventually. You know, nothing's a straight line, but just remembering that we'll get there. So thank you.
Oh, I love it. You gave me goosebumps. Imposter syndrome is real. It is real. And I'm telling you that, and I'm not going to throw Danielle under the bus, but I know we both have it. Danielle's an IPD, and it comes up. It still comes up. Okay, Balara. Oh, we can't hear you.
There we go. I don't know how to do this. You guys know that. I can't even get off mute. Sorry, I'm at the hospital, so I'm sorry there's a lot of crazy going on around me. I hope it's not being distracting. But I wanted to share because it was a huge breakthrough at convention for me, kind of along the same lines that a lot of us have been talking about, where it gave me a whole new perspective on failure, that failure and disappointment actually isn't failure. It's not. And last year, I had some really big disappointments and some things that happened that made me think in terms of failure, and hearing them say that everything you do is built on a mountain of those steps that we see as failure and disappointment, but actually there's steps to getting where we want to be. And I think that ties into our visualization, because if we think of the failures as something that's lost, then it's hard to visualize winning and getting where we want to be. But if we think of them literally as steps, and wow, what did I learn from that? Okay, I'm ready to take on the next step so that I can use that and put it to use and help it raise me higher. It was a game changer, and it's been mind blowing since I've come back. How nothing changed from the day I left to the day I came back in my business. And yet I feel 100% more like I am so climbing the mountain and it's headed the right direction, and that we're equipped. We can do what we need to do because of all those experiences. And so I can see it. I can see the glowing, wonderful goals and stuff, and the beauty of the path on the way. So I wanted to share that.
Oh, but Laura, you're amazing. No, really, you guys need to look at the chat and see what Danielle wrote in there, because Laura's had some life happen this year, major things. And for her to show up and still be on Dandrea while she's at the hospital with her husband, I mean, really, it's you're an inspiration to all of us, and I know you don't even always feel like that. So
no, we all have the imposter thing, right? But we all help each other. So,
and this is a pattern that we see again and again with leaders, when they talk about the build to their global business or their presidential business, it happens in the thick of it. The thick of it does not prevent us from getting there. The thick of it is what's building us up and helping us be better. And I was thinking, as I was dropping off or picking up my daughter from tumbling, I had a moment to call my dad back. You guys know, it's just been crazy coming out of convention, and he's trying to call me, he's trying to coach, all the things. So I had a minute and 5 minutes here, and he's like, oh, looks like you got to relax, because he saw my live video where I was hanging out in the backyard. And I'm like, yeah, for that moment I was relaxing. I'm like, my day started at 5:45, hit the ground running, kids, chaos, nanny out of town, Lindsay and I both working from home, trading, passing the baton with the kids, and working remotely. And it hit me that like my capacity to deal with stress and just a whole lot of life has been built slowly over time, so that when weeks like this happen, I'm not down with a migraine, which would have been my old self. I'm just like very focused on what needs to happen right this second, and then today. And I'm going to do that. And then I'll figure everything else out as we go day by day. And so you hear this again and again with leaders where, boy, it is in the mess. It is in the thick of it that we are building and transforming and learning how to show up better. It's building strength. It's building muscle. So if you're in despair, welcome. It must mean that you're about to have a big business.
And I wanted to share kind of this analogy too, because this is something that I forget from time to time. But when I was a little kid, I knew I wanted to adopt children. It was just something that I don't know, it was somehow put on my heart when I was like, I don't know, I want to say like 7 to 10 age. And I didn't know how to do it. I would tell you guys, like most of you, right? Like if I said, oh yeah, you need to start the paperwork for adopting a child, you'd be like, where do I even start? What do I even do about this? So it was like this vision, and I could envision my kids with me, and I could envision their cute faces, and I could envision, of course I hadn't met them yet, but I could envision what my life was going to look like in the future. And luckily, my partner, Lucas, amazing guy, I told him this when we were dating, and he was like, okay, cool. So he didn't even blink an eye. But like, and Danielle and a couple other people have been on this journey. It is an insane amount of work. You don't even know what work you're getting into. And it is years and years of paperwork. And there are obstacles along the way. We almost lost my son because there was a mishap in the paperwork. We almost lost him. And but I was never going to give up on that. I was never going to give up on the dream. And I could see it so clearly. We just had to get through the mess. We just had to get over this next hurdle, which Valara said is like, yes, that's just the next step. It doesn't mean that you stop, that you quit. It just means it's the next step. And so I like to think of that analogy because I didn't even have a second guess in my mind that it wasn't going to work out. I didn't even doubt it for a minute. And there were sad times, there was crying, there were late nights, there were days waiting and waiting for the update on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday we'd get an update, and sometimes it wouldn't come until like midnight, and we were just like waiting for the email to come through. But I mean, the mess is the way. That's why they say the obstacle is way, because it's genius. It's genius. You just have to envision yourself with that life that you want and vividly imagine it, like people were saying on stage. How does it look? How does it feel? How does it smell? What are you wearing? What, all of those things. So thank you, Laura, for sharing that, and Danielle. Okay, how's A to Z commenting going? Anyone else want to share from their niggle, their earworm, whatever you want to call it? Hi, Stacy.
I keep going back and forth about sharing and not sharing because I hate being held accountable. And thank you to everyone. And I had some like important surface level realizations from and breakthroughs from conference, like this program is a personal development program with the side of weight loss, super helpful and practical, something that I can send in a message to a human that might make an impact. Great. But having Melissa there, my human, like she's literally the love of my life. And at a certain, I don't know who was talking, but at some point it hit me. On the other hand, my sister is like my other human who I have grit with and drama with and challenges with. I'd love her to coach. There's so much work I want her to do for her own happiness. But it helped me like vision cast into the future about the long term, the dream team. And in a lot of ways, like my sister's not my dream team because she drives me freaking crazy, like I don't know that I want to do life with her all the time. But it just hit my heart that by me leveling up and just continuing to do the work on myself that I need to do to be the best version of me, that's my program, is my business. And my program is how I help my sister. It's not by getting her on plan. And maybe someday that hope that I have for her will translate, and to like see into the future, years and years ahead, that she's on my dream team as the human that I know that she wants and can be, because I've become the person that I want and can be. And just really having like an intrinsic realization, about not, what it really means not to get clients or not to get coaches. And so it's helped me in this last week or two take some actions that I've been really in a loving way toward myself cowardly about. And it'll be an ongoing process of holding myself to live above the line in all kinds of ways. But I'm here for it.
Love you, Stacy. Who would have thought that my elementary school friend that remembers my first grade birthday party would now be like a partner here? I love it so much. And we're all here to hold each other accountable, right? And it's a safe space. And so I do love these Dandrea Power Hours for this very reason. Blara's team is up and coming though, and we're gonna have to like make it pretty soon we're gonna have to have all these names crunched into Dandrea and make some real weird alphabet soup.
It's Vadandria.
Vadandria.
Bondandria.
Bondandria? I love it.
Bondandria.
Is there like veto power at all?
There's veto, maybe.
You don't like that? Wait, there was an amalgamation of Andrea and my name that sounded like diarrhea. We did veto that.
Dandrea. Wait, it was
and yeah, we don't know.
We don't remember, but it did sound like we can
now.
Chelsea.
My epiphany from this thing was I didn't realize how much I had been watching Danielle. So because I started my journey in 2020 and I thought she was amazing, and she was, but I've actually seen her grow. I'm getting emotional. I didn't think I would. I've seen her grow, and in her growth, I have seen that I can grow. So my tears are happiness for her, but I can't quite gather the words for the emotions that I feel for myself, and knowing that I can do it too. Because when I first started, K-Jo was like, "You're the next Danielle, you're the next Gina, you can do all of this." And I'm like, what? No way, they're amazing. And I put them on this pedestal. And watching Danielle grow and watching K-Jo grow, like even when I first started, I thought K-Jo knew it all and she was amazing, and she was. But I've watched both of them grow amazingly, and I can do it. I can do it. So when I went to convention, I was in a space of maybe I need to just stop. Maybe I need to get a job. And now I am so fired up. Like, I can't even express how ready I am, how my mindset has changed to I'm talking about this to everybody. I found a friend on the airplane, and that was something I would never do before. It was like, oh, I want to stay in connection with you. Can we be Facebook friends? I felt like a little 5-year-old at the playground again, but it was an exciting thing because when I was talking to her, it was like she had this infant and like a 6-year-old. I'm like, this could be mind-blowing for her. And it wasn't about what she could do for my rank, what she could do for my income. So that I thought I changed my mindset. I thought I did months ago, but it really changed. It genuinely changed. Like, it hit me in the heart through this convention. So I'm a Cancer, so I cry all the time. So.
Yay, welcome. Welcome back. I mean, a new welcome. That's wonderful. Yes.
I love so much that we get to see our mentors grow through this. Andrea and I did this as well. Like, we watched Jen completely transform. We've watched Gina transform. And the downfall for those of you who, I'm so sorry, are cursed with being frontline to Andrea and I now, is that you don't see like what losers we were before, and how if we can do it, you can do it. I mean, truly, coaching in this community, the training that we have, the mentorship hand by hand has helped us become people who can do big, scary things. But we were just, not that in the beginning.
You should have seen Danielle and I at our first convention. We were like talking about which sessions we were going to skip. We were sitting in the back with our arms folded. What is this stuff? But man, we realized at that convention that this was going to be pretty awesome. Oh man. Okay. Rosemary. Sorry, I hope you guys are all A to Z commenting or doing something that's moving your business forward. We were going to talk about being bold, like in Messenger, and when the time arises. So we can talk about that in a minute if you want to, but I'm loving this. So sorry, Rosemary.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to kind of tag on to I had a couple of thoughts as the last two people were talking, and I know that the coaching journey is different than the client journey, and yet they are just so similar. And I was watching, JMO came on, I think a bunch of you saw this yesterday, urging us to go watch this Doug Wood live, which was amazing. And he was talking about being bold and really making sure that we are showing the world that we're health influencers. And it's just the same message, whether it's on the client side or on the coach side, is sharing over and over again, because you never, ever know who needs to hear your particular story. I know everybody on here is doing a great job of branding, so they're seeing lots of other stories, but you guys who've just shared and been so vulnerable, I can't tell you what value you've added to my coaching experience and my day today. It's through that vulnerability that we all learn. And it's that vulnerability that reaches out into the hearts of people who are watching. So, I'm sure you can all relate to this. I've got a few clients that is just like one week after another. And I admit in front of all of you that I get exasperated, and I just want to grab them by the chops and say, when are you going to get serious about this? And I'm a very blunt person, as Danielle especially knows. And so finding those sensitive words to deliver that message is hard for me. But I too went into a season of personal development, thankfully, because my mentor urged me to. And I made a decision. I had a realization that this was going to be for my personal development. And if my business got a portion of that, so much the better. That would be awesome. But whether it did or it didn't, I really needed to learn better communication skills and ways to reach out to people. And it's helped me so much. And just in my life, I shouldn't say just, in my life, it has helped me. And so I'm so grateful for everyone's vulnerability today. I just can't thank you enough. And let's just keep doing this, because when you see, people in your, upline or whatever we call it, Andrea and Danielle and Jennifer and so many people, it can be daunting. It can seem like, I remember there was a graphic at convention where it was a flight of stairs and then the stairs smoothed out. And when they show us their struggle, our struggle may be different, but the growth I mean, is something that we can all latch on to. So I just am so appreciative. And, you know, anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. I'll wrap it up.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Thank you, Rosemary. I mean, really, it's kind of like what Stacy was saying too, right? We can we can know the words to say or think we have the words to say to make somebody do something or to entice them to do something. But what it's really going to come from is like you being real and authentic in your heart and your professional development and your growth that inspires other people to come along and join you on the journey, you know? So, yeah. Okay, Shannon. Oh, sorry, you're driving. Be careful.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So my takeaways go very similar with kind of everybody else's, but I had two things that kind of stood out to me over this last weekend. And one of the things was this realization, and it had nothing to do with my mentors, but everything to do with my own mental blocks. And that was, I don't have to look like Danielle. I don't have to behave like Danielle. I don't have to look like Aileen or behave like Aileen. I get to be me. And just like what you were saying, being authentically me and coming into who I am as a coach and who I am as a mentor to the people who come alongside me. People search out me because they like me, not because they want me to be someone else. And that was really big for me because I've had this weird thing in my head that success looks like all these other people, and that success looks like and sounds like Aileen and Danielle. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to see that it doesn't look like that, that's what success looks like for you guys, but not what it looks like for me. And the other thing that was huge for me this weekend, as Chelsea was pouring out her heart, coaching brought me, see, it's not good for me to be on my phone and be emotional while I'm driving. Coaching brought for me a sisterhood that I didn't know that I needed, because I'm a social person. Like, I like people and I chat with people all day long, every day. But the connections that I've built and grown through this with my virtual friends or my virtual partners who were on virtual, and my coach who was with me at convention, deepening those relationships and deepening relationships cross-line with Chelsea and other coaches. Like, that's such a cool thing that I never, ever expected, that we are on this same mission together and this same vision. Like, surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded is so much for personal growth. And I just had no idea. So I am forever grateful for each and every one of you. Rosemary and I got a chance to chat, and just the time that we can impart wisdom to each other and love to one another when we don't even know that each other needs it. So super thankful for you all.
I love that, Shannon. Oh my gosh. Well, and you hit on a couple of things too. Like, yes, there have been things in leadership that has held me back because I was thinking that I had to be like Jennifer Morris. And no one can be her. She's amazing. And but it held me back because not because I was thinking I couldn't be her, but sometimes it would be like, I don't want to deal with that. That sounds really hard. She's got these whole, she's got these huge teams, and it's like, but the way she does it is maybe going to be different than the way I do it. And not to say we don't follow what our leaders do, but we create our own culture, and our clients are attracted to us for a reason, and those clients become coaches for a reason. And so that has been like very life-giving to realize, like, yeah, I'm never going to be Jen or Gina. Those are my direct mentors, and they are powerhouses, and I just don't even have the same personality as them, but it's going to be okay. I can still grow a business. So yes, that's a huge one. And I personally think that the best part of convention is the people and building the relationships. I mean, Debbie you're on here. Debbie brought a client to convention, and I gotta say, this client was like, I have never met people like this before. I didn't know it existed. Debbie, do you want to share about that? Or I don't know if there's more to share than that, but
Oh my
it was so
gosh.
cool.
Well, I think a lot of people got to meet Karen and just the whole experience for her, just listening to her talk. She didn't want to leave. She didn't want to get on the airplane. She kept saying like she found her sisters. And it was just a really cool experience. When she first said she was going, I was like, oh my gosh, I have a client coming. This is going to be weird. And it was the best. It was absolutely the best. We just got to connect. And, she had been like, I'm not coaching. And now she's like, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be a coach. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to be a coach. So, and she just, just watching her kind of come out of her shell and just opening up like in person and not just over the phone was really awesome.
Amazing. I'm really excited for her.
Me
She's
too.
in for an even bigger life change than she was on the path to.
Yes.
So exciting. Well, I hope you guys have been able to get a little bit of work done while we've all been talking and crying. And my heart goes out to everybody who's sick and recovering. But 90-day challenge, you guys. Pick what your thing is that you want to be held accountable to. Put that stuff in your business thread. Oh, sorry. Put that stuff in your business thread and have your mentorship hold you accountable for it. And, whether it's attending power hours daily or whether it's some other thing that you're working on or a thing that you took from convention, let's do it. We're going into another busy season, another typically historically good time for coaches. And convention was like the perfect thing to kick this off. So we've got, I don't know, a few more minutes if anybody wants to share anything. Okay, guys. Be well. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next Power Hour. Bye.